Yo, guys, it's the kid, 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 it's the kid. We are here, we're here, we're here, we're live, 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 we're live. So, guys, this is going to be very strict because at the top of the hour, we have a match that could give Liverpool the title. Now, in case some of you don't know, let me just explain how this is going to go. If Chelsea beats Liverpool or draw with Liverpool, Chelsea, that title is 50% Chelsea's. I'm not having any of that nonsense of Chelsea do all of Liverpool's hard work and they celebrate by themselves. So, Liverpool, you do your dirty work by yourself. But if by some reason Thingy win, then boom, we have to have it, man. We have that thing is 50% as 100%. So, guys, you've been sending in your questions, you've been sending in your lovely questions and so forth. And we are going to spend our time sending in these questions. Javan, I think you need to send me another background because I'm not sure whether this works. Because it needs to be in the corner of the screen. So I mean, we can. Should we roll like this?
Corner? Can't you move it to the corner?
Should we roll like this? I mean, should we do this like this? I mean, I don't know whether Devil is happy with an F hovering over his head and everything, So because you need something like this where it's in the corner there. So then
wait, stop.
Don't you get paid for this stuff?
Hold on.
Aren't you like this big time engineer?
If you gave me access, then maybe I can do some stuff.
Look, access is overrated, man. Access is overrated, man. Devil, Devil said that apparently these questions are trash, but that's what he said. So let's go over these questions.
I didn't say these questions are trash. I said the questions are always very similar.
Translation: these questions are completely not some bullshit. So
therefore, they are trash. But I didn't say the word trash.
Okay, man.
You don't need to be inventive with your questions.
I even said it in the tweet. I said, "Be creative."
It can't be
the same.
Ronaldo, Messi,
Ronaldo, Barcelona, Madrid. Who should this person sign? Who should that person sign? Come on.
I'm not answering a Messi Christina question. So I'm just saying right now, if there's a Messi Christina question, I will defer to my three amigos. So guys, without further ado, let's get it on, man. So, first question. So I mean, you couldn't write this stuff.
You know what? At least this one has a little bit of substance.
You couldn't write this. And also, this guy has been on my balls on Twitter for like the last few days because I'm beginning to even recognize these names. Also, shout out to Lacazette, who has an umbrella blocking him from the sun.
Source.
And he's got a little baby kid blocking him from the starting lineup. That one might last a bit longer than they're
as he should. Lacazette shouldn't be anywhere near the starting lineup.
So this is from Mr. Manjunath Dinesh. Says that is Cristiano Ronaldo the best header in terms of goal scoring of all time? He has more than 100 headers. Most, which is also more than Hazard's goal tally for Chelsea. HH triggered. Now I'm going to ignore the whole Hazard thing again because I'm going to be professional and objective here. So from my point of view, you could definitely place an argument as he's one of the best headers of the ball because his leap is one of the best I've seen. Now the best headed goal of all time is Pele's goal in the 1970 World Cup final. That is the best headed goal I've ever seen in my life because what he did and how he places is insane. But in terms of just if you had to pick one, Cristiano he's a good closer was all right, but he really did it for Germany international. But I think overall, in terms of what he would do for Portugal, what he did for United, what he did for Real Madrid, you could place an argument and he's definitely one of the best hitters of the ball that there are out there.
Is he a better header of the ball than Hazard's a footballer? No, I'm joking. Don't worry about it. I mean, yeah, he probably is. I mean, I don't, go into depth of people's heading, not their ability, but how many goals others may have scored from their head. You mentioned Pele's the goal that he scored. There's the one they always talk about. I know, I guess it's from an English bias, but the save from Gordon Banks where Pele just rolls so high and he just headed it straight down to the corner, and then somehow Gordon Banks turned it over the bar. But yeah, he was very good in the air. For someone who wasn't that tall at all.
Actually, this was good. That was a crazy
I was just
goal.
gonna say that,
goal. Yeah,
that was a great header.
Oh, that was a very good header. But remember, I'm not saying it wasn't, but Henrik Larsson scored a very good diving header in. I don't know if it was a previous World Cup or Euros for Sweden. This is it's one of the first times I kind of realized who this Henrik Larsson fellow was. I think he might even have hair at the time. If you don't
he had the dreads. Yeah.
He was a good header.
Oh yeah, 94 days. Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite. When I say favorite in terms of quality of header, not the goal itself, was Luis Garcia for Liverpool against Juventus. I think they won the game. No, it wasn't against Juventus. It was in the group stage. I can't remember who they played against, but it was on the edge of the area, and he kind of leant his head back and somehow looped over the keeper from the edge of the area. Brilliant header. I think I might have posted it on Twitter some time ago, maybe a few months ago. But yeah, that was a good header.
You know, for me, one of the players, I mean, Ronaldo probably is the best header of the ball in terms of goal scoring ability. He scored many. But one player who always sticks out, I mentioned him before, is Christian Vieri. Vieri could attack the ball in the air. He was a brute force of a striker, and he could head the ball from the edge of the box, and it would be like a volley. Yeah, he just had this technique where he could put so much pace and power onto a header that you'd have to check that his neck had like metal sticks all in his neck and that he didn't have normal bones. It was crazy. But another header that I always remember, just because it was weird, was Javier Hernandez. I think it was against Stoke.
Yeah.
No way he headed it with the back of his head.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you even think to do that? You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I don't know how I'm going to get to this. Turn around and do it with the back of his head. That goal always stuck in my head.
You know, another good, I say good, it was a very weird headed goal that Hernandez scored. I mean, it will go down as a headed. It might have been his first goal actually from Man United. It was in the Community Shield. And a cross came in, a low cross, and he went to kick it, and he shot it right into his face and went in the goal. I mean, it goes down as a headed goal, isn't it?
Javan?
Ronaldo's sick. Ronaldo's sick. That speaks for itself. To be fair, one of the best goals I've seen headed wise is the RVP one. That was amazing. But yeah, I'll have to say Ronaldo is very good at heading.
The question is he the best header of the ball? Yes or no? Is he number one of all time, Javan? It's a very simple question. Yes or no?
2008 Champions League final, when he rose as like a salmon, as what's that guy's name? Ray Hudson would say. Rose like a salmon, leapt out of the air, and
did he miss a penalty in that game?
No, the game finished and he didn't. Okay. Penalty during the 100.
So Javan, is Cristiano your final answer?
Yes.
Why?
Because he's the greatest player of all time.
Wait. Is this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Let's move. Please. I beg. I beg, Joe. Nonsense, man. Before I start to vex. From Sammy, thank you for sending in your question. Thank you so much. Now, Sammy says, what do Liverpool really need more backup? Okay, what do Liverpool really need? More backup for the front three or backup fullbacks? How longer can Liverpool really rely on the ever-reliable James Milner at fullback? Okay, so let me try and break this down. So, backup for the front three or backup fullbacks? For me, I would say, that's tough because but if you had to choose, I would say fullbacks because I still feel that there are that front three can, even if Salah goes down, you can bring in Origi.
The answers you don't know. You're
no.
You're struggling.
You're struggling. Come on, we got a time limit.
It's the backup for the fullback. It's backup for the fullback. The reason why I say backup for the fullbacks is because I say that front three, they already have a backup. I think Origi is a great backup. Origi could be a starting striker for some guys because that guy gets a lot of good goals.
Which guys? Would you start him at Chelsea?
He can start for Everton. He can start for Everton.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He can start for some guys.
However, he's not starting over Richarlison, so it would only be Calvert.
Calvert-Lewin. Yeah.
Look, back up for the fullbacks, Jared, man. That's my final answer, man. So what are you guys saying, man? I say back up for the fullbacks. That's my final answer, man.
It is a tough one. We saw in the first game against Everton, actually, yeah. And they had Trent obviously was on one side, but there was no Robertson. And then Milner was playing, and then Milner had to come off. And it's like, who are they going to put there? And because they had no width down that side, you could see how easy it was really to defend against. Because Gomez, I think it was Gomez who ended up playing on the left. I mean, he's a centre back and a right-footed centre back. He always kept coming inside. So they really lack the outlet. And with Liverpool, they really do use their fullbacks to attack. However, in that same game, they were missing Salah. Did Firmino play in the first game?
He did.
So maybe it's just back up for Salah, David, because Salah is irreplaceable, clearly.
You know, it is an interesting question. And I think you may have players who could play fullback, but you don't have players who can do what Trent and Andrew Robertson do. So if you miss both of them out of the team at the same time, because remember, Liverpool, their whole structure and the system that they play is they don't need to have creative midfielders because of their fullbacks. You take those two fullbacks out, and they might have some youngsters coming through who might be good, but they ain't going to be Trent and they ain't going to be Andrew Robertson good. You know, I think the front three, if you lose one of them, we've seen Origi's come in, he's done a job. He's not the best backup. He's really not. He's not going to do a similar job to what a Mane or a Salah can do, or even a Firmino at that stage. So I think they do need backup up front. It's not a clear-cut thing, because.
But the thing is,
but then, are there any fullbacks that they could actually sign who could do the job that Trent and Andrew Robertson do?
The problem is that because their fullbacks are so good and their forwards are so good, who can you bring in? Because anyone you bring in that you're going to say, oh, if we lose Salah, we can bring this person in and it doesn't change anything. You have to bring in a top quality player, and no top quality players come to sit on the bench. So even if you went out to buy, I don't know, let's say, for argument's sake, Willian.
Werner.
Let's say Willian. No, but is Werner going to be sitting on the bench, for example? But if you say you went out and got a Willian, I don't know, a Mkhitaryan, two people that might be on free transfers. If they were to come in and replace Salah and Mane, they're not doing half the job. So it's like you're still going to be saying we need better backup. Though their first team is so good in those positions anyway, that similar to Harry Kane at Spurs, who do you get to be a serious backup for those players? And I mean, Origi's happier to be on the bench because he's just not on the same level. It's a real difficult. It's a difficult one, to be honest. But yeah, Werner would have been a good one. Werner would.
Werner would have been a good one. Werner would have been, and the thing is as well, it would have enabled rotation. And I suppose you can rotate your front players more so than you can your defense, because if you're taking out your fullbacks and rotating, that's going to affect your centre backs. That can affect your keeper because they have an understanding. So I suppose it's easier to get a forward player who can just come in and fit into the front three rather than rotate your fullbacks. So I think it'd be harder to replace the fullbacks, but they probably need someone better than Origi to replace one of the front three.
Javan?
I would say they're fullbacks because I think that's where their attack is based on them.
No, Javan, it's not about think. No. I need more searching from you.
Every time.
How do we kick out Have Hope out?
No. I said no, Javan. This is a question. It's not. I think. Deal in fact. Tell me something in fact. I don't want. Just about. Well, I think that maybe, perhaps, it could sort of. Just. I need more attention from you. No. Come on, man. I need it to be harder, man. Please, come on, man. I need passion, more aggressive, way more aggressive.
Is he Klopp?
For me personally, I think that, it should be the fullbacks that they need backup for, because that is where their attack starts from. If, like, for instance, when Milner came off, they crumbled because they don't have someone there. That is where they start from. It all starts from the back from them. And if their back ain't in order, then it doesn't matter who's up front, because they'll just be leaking goals again, like how they were before. As long as you have someone up front that can finish, that's decent, then I think Liverpool's play will work. But if their defense is not in order, then it just won't work. So I think they need a backup for their fullbacks.
And another thing is as well, obviously, if you take the fullbacks out, that's half the creativity. Look at the amount of assists that Robertson and
Trent
the
midfield is trash.
The midfield doesn't have creativity. It's an engine room. So you take those fullbacks out, the front three, no matter if they have got a backup or not, who's going to get them the supply? Henderson's not going to do it. Fabinho's not going to do it. Ronaldo is a quality player, but he ain't going to do it. That's not what they're there for. You'd have to change up the entire system if those fullbacks aren't there. I think they are integral to Liverpool's style of play.
Okay. So moving on to our next question on the day. Remember to join up on this. Do it again. For the Patreon, join our Patreon, access to extra content, support the boys. Link is in the description box below. Don't be bricks, support, don't be losers. So this guy with another question, man. Sammy, why do you send so many questions? Oh, that's fine. I mean, thanks for the question, but still, what phrase do you guys hear every weekend by EPL pundits that makes you shake your head on life? Mine's is he needs to get stuck in more. Oh no, like for me, this is simple, man, and I think this is and this is a test. Okay, here's my test to English pundits is try and go through an entire segment without using pace and power.
I was going to say the same thing.
I swear to you, guys like Jamie Redknapp and so forth, because their football knowledge is so limited, their lexicon is so limited. If there are, let's say, 6-7 black players playing, they cannot get through an entire segment without using the words pace or power or words alluding to pace or power for an entire segment. So yeah, that's the thing that it pisses me off to no degree. Devil?
Sorry, just to add something in just before Devil says anything. The lineups are out and Sterling is playing the number 9 position.
Yep. Pace and power through the middle.
What's the lineup? Okay, so Javeno, so what's the Chelsea lineup? I mean, give us more details.
Cammy's still bench.
Giroud, Willian, Pulisic up front. Mount, Kante, Barkley, Alonso.
Wait.
Hey.
Who? Wait, what did you say? Who? Did you say
Barkley?
Mount? What?
Mount, Kante, Barkley, Alonso, Rudiger.
Why is Mount playing?
Loftus-Cheek dropped.
You're worried about Mount and not Barkley.
Wait,
That's what I'm saying, bro. You're worried about Mount and not Barkley. Barkley is the worst in central midfield, and you want to talk about Mount.
Okay.
Mount is second best.
Devil, what phrase pisses you off the most?
Yeah, same.
Devil.
Pace of power. As soon as I saw that question, that was the first thing that came into my head. Pace of power. There's many different attributes in football that there's some very technical black players that never ever, like when they describe Pogba, who's probably one of the most technically gifted footballers in the world, the first thing they say is pace and power.
Things that allude to it, because I think it was it yesterday? They were talking about throwing your weight around, and I'm like, yeah, cool, but he doesn't throw his weight around. He's got the ball. He's dictating the play. Where's he throwing the weight around?
Yeah, but the thing is, because there's other players who have pace and power, who are white, who won't be the first point of call.
Bale, Haaland.
Bale. To be fair, Bale does get that a lot. Bale does get a lot of pace and power, and that's evident to see. If Bale was black, and they said that, I wouldn't have an issue with it, because that's Bale's game. Do you know what I mean? He is technically proficient. He can do that as well, but his game is based on the fact that he has pace and he's powerful when he runs. That's what he's good at. But there's many different different players who are described as such, and they have so many different facets to their game. It's just lazy. It's lazy at the end of the day. So that's the one that annoys me.
Neeks.
I have no issues. English football is the greatest football out there. The commentators are the best, as well as the analysts, and all like that.
Wow. Javon? Oh,
All right, shout out Ben Mee, by the way.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same thing. This pace and power thing is disgusting. Like I will see certain players on the pitch, and that's what they do. But they say, "Oh, look at him. He's gifted. He's intelligent, he's smart on the ball." But for instance, when Pogba does it, to say, "Oh, look at that, his pace and power." Like, what is pace and power? Like, why are we always?
It's not the only one I would accept. Not the only one, but one of the few that I'd accept. All right, he's pace and power because technically he is terrible.
And it's ridiculous because like pace and power, they go look at his pace, look at his power. What does that actually? What does that do? You can have pace and power, but how are you passing the ball? How are you passing the ball? Where's the technique? It takes technique to do that. You can't just have pace and power and be like that. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Daniel James ain't pace and power. He's just pace.
He's
just pace.
It's pace.
all right.
But you never hear him. They say that. We'll be like, look at him. He's rapid. He gets down the wing. Intelligent. Gets the ball in the box. What is that?
All right, let's actually basically I think I did I tell you guys this story? I think I told you guys this story basically when I used to play rugby in school, and obviously because I hated rugby, but because I was one of the fastest guys and I was also pretty like nimble and everything, I was like in the rugby sevens for our team, and also I was in the first, which I hated, but again it is what it was. So we're doing like 7v7 because we're just training with the backs. So training with like moving the ball around and ball movements. So our headmaster and our coach came down to watch us. But this is the first time that our headmaster came to watch us. So I was like, I'm the last guy. So I'm like the winger next to the inside forward. So I am the last guy to receive the ball. So when I receive the ball, and I have to pretty much run to try and get the try. So the ball would pass through, then it came to me, then I'm like, boom, I'm rapidly going down. And as I run past, I could hear my headmaster say, run, 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 run. I was like,
Ridiculous.
what the? And remember, how old was I? I'm like 12, and I was like, what the? But yeah, as I grew up, and now I knew what that was about. But it was scary though when he said that. All right. Now this is hilarious. This is funny. This is genuinely funny. Choose your best centre-back pair between Lovren, Luiz, Mustafi. You know what?
Can we choose our worst?
No. It's better because it's best. No, so that's why it's so good. If it's worse, it's boring. Let me be real with you. If I was a manager, give me Otamendi and Mustafi. I think I can work with those two.
You're a madman.
You're a madman.
You see, no. Okay. Let me explain.
Luiz and Otamendi are the best ones out there.
I was going to say Otamendi. I was going to say Otamendi Lovren. But for me, I think Mustafi has. I've seen some slight improvements.
No, listen. You can't pick Otamendi. I'll tell you why. Otamendi.
Please show me who you would put ahead of Otamendi from this list.
I'll tell you in a second. Otamendi needs. When I say I would say he's the only one there who needs a world-class defender beside him, or he is complete trash. Because every other defender there hasn't even played with another world-class defender, yet they're still playing at big clubs. Otamendi plays with company, played with Laporte. But it's when he goes next to John Stones, it's like, this guy's actually trash. Whereas we've actually seen the level of these other ones playing next to other crap. So for me personally, I'm going with
I think I'm going to go with Otamendi Lovren.
Not Otamendi. I'll tell you what.
Otamendi Lovren.
I think
Luiz Lovren.
Luiz Lovren.
They're the best there. They're the best there.
I think Luiz
trash.
Luiz?
You know what? You know what?
Luis Lovren.
You can't go Mustafi and Otamendi, and here's why. They are both Jack Russells chasing cars
Yeah.
in the street. That's what they are. As soon as they see the ball, they want to get it. They don't care about nothing else. They don't care if they get hit and run over and break their leg. They just want to get that car.
This is an impossible question.
It really is.
No, the
Really
best. As bad as Louis, are we talking about Louis right now, or are we talking about throughout their careers?
No, right now.
I was picking careers. I wasn't thinking about right second.
No. For me, I think because I think this works best by saying it's right now. Because if we say careers, it's, oh well, let's take David Luiz at his best, or let's take Mustafi when he was part of the German squad at the Euros. It's a better question if we say them right now. And if you're saying them right now, Luiz is horrible.
Yeah, if you're saying
horrible.
Right, if you're saying right now, Mustafi has actually been our best defender since Arteta came in. That doesn't say much. That doesn't say much because we've been shit. But he has been actually pretty good for an Arsenal centre back. But what's funny is Otamendi and Mustafi actually were a centre back pairing at Valencia, and they both got big money moves.
Oh yeah, I just saw that now. Yeah.
And they both got big money transfers, so they must have been doing something right. But for me, I'd probably go with right now Mustafi and Lovren. Right now, because I think Lovren has done well for Liverpool this season when he's played, but again, that's because he's been next to VVD. So you have that. What would he be like next to Mustafi?
I know Mustafi, not Otamendi.
Because listen, I think I was saying on where was it? I can't remember. It might have been on a match review, and I was looking at the Everton game, and I said Lovren is so bad that when he comes on, he makes Van Dijk look average. To make Van Dijk average is that's impossible, but somehow Lovren does it. You're looking at it like, how has this Liverpool team only conceded 20 goals when Lovren's on the pitch? He's horrible. Soon as he came on, every ball from Everton was down Lovren's side. Richarlison was having a field. They should have won the game. He's so bad. What a good question. Yeah,
these are the questions I like.
Yeah, this is one of the best questions we've ever had, because even if I am the reason why I'm sticking with Otamendi Mustafi is because of the point that Devo and Nadu raised. I am banking on the fact that they can somehow rekindle their wavelength from Valencia, and I'm just going to try and pray to God and use that, because this list is hell on earth. This is hell on earth.
But no one's going for Phil Jones, no.
No, he's going to be crawling all game, man.
Basically, for me, Phil Jones and Luiz are a no.
You can't have Luiz and Phil Jones at all.
You know what it is about all these defenders is that they all jump into tackles. None of them stand off and wait for the defender to come. They all want to meet the ball. Otamendi for me is the worst at it because he dives in, like slides in and completely out of the game.
Mustafi's the same. Mustafi's the exact same. He doesn't know how to stay on his feet. It's one of the worst things that I hate in a defender is someone who has to go to ground every time, because you go to ground, you miss it, you're out of the game. You're done.
I'm going to stick with Luiz and Lovren. And the only reason I'm going to do that is because I think Luiz is the best on the ball out of all of the defenders there. And they're all bad defenders anyway. So at least he can do that. I can guarantee he's going to give me a good couple of passes, maybe 3, 4, 5 even. He can take the ball out of defense. I'll go Luiz Lovren. I'll stick with that even today.
Javan?
Same thing. Luiz Lovren.
Wow. Okay.
Just to add, all they all have pace and power.
Also, I'm going to take that Mustafi because it's spelled differently. So hopefully it's a different guy.
All right. So from Astroman says that, how good is Bayern CL season really? They haven't faced anyone at the level of City, PSG, or Real Madrid. Who have they faced? 2 London farmers. Relax, chill, watch your mouth. PSG and Real Madrid are CL favorites. Until Bayern face someone at their level, they aren't favorites for the CL. See, this is what I've been saying, and I've been saying the fact is that people say, "Oh my, Bayern Munich, they're one of the best teams." I say, wait a minute.
Wait,
they've not faced anyone because they are far too good for the Bundesliga, obviously, in the Champions League, they've not faced any of the true high-tier heavy hitters in the likes of Man City. Whether you like it to Barcelona, Real Madrid,
were PSG,
or so forth. So,
sorry, how about were PSG and Real Madrid in the same group or something?
They were in the same group.
They're
Okay.
in the same group. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Who was in Bayern's group? Spurs.
Spurs.
Dortmund. No, not Dortmund.
No.
I can wait. It was.
It wasn't Ajax, was it? No, Ajax were in Chelsea.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Ajax. It wasn't Ajax.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Someone said what?
Olympiacos were in there.
Someone said we had the best group stage in history of UCL. I'm not sure why. Did they win all 6 games? I mean, Man United, we won all 6 games in 2000 and
yeah, they've won every game they played.
2009 or 2007? I can't remember. I think we won all the games.
No. Basically, Bayern have not faced a top team yet.
Yeah, but most Champions League winners don't face a top team this far. So I'm not going to use that as a base at the last 16. I'm not going to use that as a basis to say whether they're favourites or not, because
we're currently judging because the point of his question is that how can we rate their season?
I understand the concept of it, but I'm saying we've had favourites for Champions Leagues without them having faced a strong team until you get to the quarters, semis, and finals. So I understand what you're saying. I'm not going to put Real Madrid and PSG as favourites just because they played each other, because I might question the quality of Real Madrid and PSG. Real Madrid got turned over and dominated at their own ground by Man City. So I'm not putting Real Madrid ahead of Man City. I can't do that. Now, to be fair, the only reason why I might do it now is because Aguero's out. The only reason. But they played PSG in the group, cool, and then they got beat by Man City at home. Dominated. So, and PSG, what's PSG's credentials to say that they're favourites? Have they got to what, one semi-final? Same as Man City. Like, I don't think them playing each other.
Yes, wait. Why is this guy saying Real Madrid are Champions League favourites? According to who? This guy's about to get knocked out by Man City in a few months.
I'm saying. So I don't know where that from. For me, yes, it's hard to say because they haven't played the teams that haven't played. But you could say that about pretty much everyone in the competition. Who have they played? Then what do we base it on? Their domestic season, of course, they're absolutely brilliant. And they're the individual players. Alphonso Davies, Lewandowski, probably favourite for Ballon d'Or as it stands. You know, they're on fire, they're on form. I think they're rightly Champions League favourites as it stands. If between now and when the Champions League week starts, you know, Real Madrid turn up, and I'm talking about playing wise, their results are very good. Say Man City win all their games between now and the end of the season, for example, beat Liverpool, etc. Then you might have to put them back in the reckoning. PSG, they haven't played since the lockdown.
Yeah, PSG have not after 5 months or something of not playing. That is a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, that's a massive
huge disadvantage, man.
Yeah.
So what do you guys say?
I think Bayern are favourites, and I think you can't discredit them for winning the games. But I mean, no matter who's in your group, you still have to win every game, and they've won every game pretty much convincingly. They've scored a lot of goals in this competition. So I think that therefore they are the favourites because of what they have achieved so far in the competition. Yes, they maybe haven't played any of the heavyweights, but that could also be at their advantage. You're building momentum. Do you know what I mean? You get this air of invincibility where you think, you know, it doesn't matter who we're playing. We are on form. People are going to be scared of us. And that also comes into play. As you said, you look at the individuals in the team, and I said before, you look at the system they use and the fact that they have so many players who can just slot into positions. They all know the system. You got a man who can play right back, who can go and play left back just as easily. You got a man who can play right back, go central midfield, nice and easy. You got a left winger who can sit left back. Nothing changes. No matter who the personnel is, the team is always the same. The ethos is the same. And you've got Lewandowski in the form of his life. So for me, Bayern are rightfully favourites.
Javan?
Yeah, for me, I don't want to say Bayern is favourite.
Why not? Why not?
For me, they're not favourites. I feel like they just. Let me see how to put this. I'm gonna go with Real Madrid, or for me, Real Madrid or Juve. That's what I said before this. But when the season started, but Sarri is trash. Sarri is trash. So, and obviously Real Madrid are now on a resurgence. They look a better team, so they could turn it around for we know against Man City. So for me, my favorites are Real Madrid or Juve. More Real Madrid now.
Interesting. I'm not sure whether I agree, but that is your answer, Javan.
Wouldn't it be nice if Atalanta went and won it? That'd be nice.
Bro, that look, those guys, I think they've scored 77 goals this season.
Yeah.
They scored 77 in the last season, which was the highest in Serie A, and they scored 77 already. It's crazy.
So, actually, wait, how many league goals did Messi score in that 91 goal season?
No, it wasn't a season. It was a calendar year.
He scored.
So he scored 91 goals over the course of the year. But in the season, I think he had 40 odds.
In the season, in all, he was on 73. I'm not 100% sure how much he scored in the league.
I thought he had 40 odd, 48 or something like that. Somewhere around there, 48, 49, I think.
All right, so from Jack and Jill, what's your favorite national team that you don't have connections with? Please don't all say Brazil. Look, people keep like this to me. I have Brazilian blood from my mom. So this isn't me being this and that. I don't know how I can prove it to you. I have Brazilian blood from my mom. And I do have slightly Cameroonian blood from my dad as well. So favorite national team that you don't have connections with. You know what? I have always I really liked. It's just that I can't see them, but the Chile golden generation I really liked. But that was just for a specific period. So I should say overall, I've always liked the Netherlands. I've always liked the Netherlands. So every time there's a World Cup or something, if Nigeria controversially and undeservedly get knocked out, I'm looking at or Brazil. I'm always looking at the Netherlands. So if Brazil or Nigeria get knocked out, I'm looking at the Netherlands. I think because of their orange kits, what it looks like on the pitch, the players that they always have, and the blend of players that they have, and just how highly technical their players are. I've always liked the Netherlands, man.
Brazil were my second nation. When I was a kid, I remember I had a video, and it was all about the Brazilian national team from the very first World Cup all the way up to I think it's 86. And just talking about the players and the coaches and how they were received in Brazil and stuff like that. So I used to watch that video all the time, and the iconic yellow kits and everything like that. So I was always a fan of Brazil growing up until about 94 and that World Cup, and I just thought they weren't very good in that World Cup. So after that, I was like, I don't really care. And then R9 came along, and it's like, yeah, Brazil. But outside of Brazil, Holland. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Holland as well. Probably comes from Dennis Bergkamp. But yeah, Holland, I've always looked out for their results. They've always had interesting players.
Davids,
yeah. I remember playing as a kid on a tour of Holland with a club I was playing with, and me and my cousin, we were the two best players on the team, and we went on this 2 tournaments we played out there, and we drew one game and won everything else. And we was 12 or something. And the local press said we were Seedorf and Kluivert, because my cousin was a striker and I was a midfielder. And I always remember that.
This is it, guys. Oh, who said that? Brazil is big because of Neymar.
Who said that?
Someone. What?
I bet you it's called Bestin. I bet is his name called just Bestin?
No, it's David.
No, it's David or David, whichever, however you want to pronounce it.
Sorry, that threw me off a bit. I think it's funny because I think every black person's team was Brazil, or second team at least. To be fair, at one point it was their only team because there wasn't many African teams who would go to the World Cup, etc. Then we had the Cameroons and Nigerias in the early 90s. Caribbean nation didn't qualify until 98 in Jamaica and Trinidad in 2006. So it was like, all right, which team got the most black players? And Brazil have always been that team from back in the 1950s right through to about 2006 2006, and then obviously other nations started joining, Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, as a Jamaica, Trinidad. So you could support those teams. So I think Brazil is everyone's obvious choice, including mine, to this day. Netherlands also had a lot of black players, and I think that's why, for me, again, it's my second team as well, because they had the Kluiverts, who was probably one of my favorite strikers at the time, around the 98, 99, that period. Davids, Seedorf, Ruud Gullit. I mean, I'm not sure. Van Bronckhorst is brown. I don't know what exactly. They had a lot of black Dutch players. So there's definitely things we could always relate to. And I know nowadays, us being in this country so long, a lot of people do support England, and the fact that England now have a lot of black players.
Nick, stop being so racial, man. All lives matter. You shouldn't support a team based on your hue.
It is what it is. Like, when you look at even the Premier League, people always ask, how you got black players supporting Chelsea? It's because you had people like Paul Cannonville, who was playing for Chelsea back in the I don't even know when he was playing for them. 60s? Whatever it is, I can't remember. 70s, 80s?
I think it's the 70s.
It might be 70s. And it was like, we need to support a team who's got a black player, Clyde Best, and then they end up supporting that team. So we can't take it out of it. It just is what it is, isn't it? You need something you can relate to. And I think Brazil and Netherlands were something in terms of, and of course, the way they play football, total football, samba, etc. is always attractive for myself.
There's another comment there. You Brazil died in the 7-1.
There's a super chat there as well.
Brazil's been dead since I would say 2006 up until, because the 2010 World Cup, that was a terrible, terrible team, terrible manager, terrible tactics. Dunga. That was so anti-Brazil the way they played. And 2014, I think they won the Olympics in 2012. And then it was like, all right, the World Cup's in Brazil. And it ended in disappointment, innit? But I still...
To say the least.
Javine.
Yeah. Going on from what Nick said, for me, it's a controversial one. I don't know. I like it. I like England.
Wait, actually, don't say Russia. Listen, don't say
Wait.
Mississippi or Russia.
What did he say? Mississippi is
like
not a country.
No, you said England, but you can't say England because you have no connections to. You're connected to England, but
You're connected to England.
No, I'm from Wales right now, so I'm not.
You live there since you were 5.
I moved here when I was 3, so I'm not
Exactly.
connected.
Even
You live here.
You're
You're connected.
You can't say England, man.
You're
Javon, you're
connected, you
English.
live here.
You're English.
I'm not English.
God save the
You pay
great
taxes.
Queen. God save our holy Queen. You're English.
You pay taxes here. You're connected.
I have no connection to them. I'm not racist.
Of course,
You're
you pay
English.
taxes.
God save that Queen. God save that elderly lady with a crown.
Pick someone else.
God
Pick
save
Jamaica.
the elderly lady with a crown.
You want to be Jamaican? Pick Jamaica.
Jamaica, man.
Want to be Jamaica?
Listen, yeah, for me, yeah. Okay, let me explain to you. I watch I'm not a fan of international football anyway, as you all know from when we did the World Cup. I think I don't know. I don't really like international football.
The fuck?
You can do what you want. I don't really like it. If it's on, I will watch it.
There's a lot of people who are like that.
Wait, so Javon, you don't watch the World Cup?
No, I'm saying if it's on, if it's the only football that's on, I'll watch it. But I'm not a fan of international football. I hate international friendlies, and I'm not. I just don't.
Everyone hates friendlies.
I just don't like international. I just like club football. I don't care about anything. I really am not the biggest fan.
Talking crack, man. Look, can I please have an answer from you, Javon? Because first of all, I'm incensed with what you've just said.
You can be. I'm
absolutely. This is terrible. You don't like international football, the World Cup, the Euros, the Nations Cup, Copa America. I mean, how dare you? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Javon, please answer this dumb question. It's terrible, sickening.
I'm not talking. The thing is, there's a lot of people who like put their club above their countries, no doubt.
They're sick in the head. They're sick in the head.
I'm just saying this ain't necessarily a Javern thing. I think the passion that was around, and I think maybe the accessibility of club football is so much more now, and you see it so much more regular than you did in back in the days, that people kind of lose the I don't know, I guess the patriarchy out of international football. But I think if Montserrat got to a World Cup, you would have passion in international football.
Possibly, probably.
So, Javan, can you please pick a team that is
My
your
team.
who is your team?
I told you I pick England. I don't care about
You can't pick England. You
I can.
live here. You're English, bro.
Listen,
Javan,
if
you're
I say-
English.
if I say
You
another
live here.
team, if I say another team, then I'm just gonna be pulling a name out of hat because I don't.
No. He
Okay,
said
so he said Russia.
a country you have no connections with.
Yeah,
A
but
country that you don't have
what he's
any
saying-
connections with.
what he's saying is he doesn't like
Let's
international
move on.
So the only team he could possibly pick is either England or no one.
The heck? Okay. Look, fine. I mean, all right, let's
Swiftly.
take it Super
Right,
Bowl.
obviously, I'll support like all the black. all
Nah,
the-
Javan, man. Nah, you
Nigeria,
know what?
Ghana.
Like,
I'll
seriously,
support those teams, but
like I thought you were
not.
different. First of all, if it wasn't bad enough that you didn't invite me to your daughter's birthday. That was strike number one. Strike number two, you now hate this whole thing. Strike number three, you're on one more strike, by the way. That's what I'm saying. So Mr. Syed said that if Zizou wins La Liga and somehow wins the CL, someone should make a movie called Zidane. Like, how can you leave and come back and do that? Zidane, there is no way Zidane. See, if Zidane wins La Liga, that would be great. If Zidane wins this Champions League on his first season back, I think that we may have to build a statue of him in the UN or something. But I'm telling you right now, they're not beating Man City. Man City are going to be 2-0 to Arsenal. Man City are going to be favorites.
Who scored?
Big up
Willock
to eye test before stats.
Go on, Willock.
Big up to eye
and rebound.
test before stats.
No. City
comment.
are going to beat Real Madrid. But if he does it, then we have to build a statue of Zidane in the UN or give him a Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, go. This is a great one to end on, man. This is a great one to end on.
Wait. Look at eye test before stats. Put that comment up. Yeah.
Why?
Inject-
What comment is this?
Inject it.
Why? Where?
He says, what Premier League greater than? Yeah, there we go.
Is it no? But I says you're mad. You're mad. Like that's a massive. You have to be mad to make that statement. Yeah. No. Sorry. No. You're psycho in the head. So, Marshall FC says looks like Arthur and the Pjanic swap deal is almost completed. What does Pjanic offer Barcelona? Nothing. If this was Pjanic during his Roma days or early Juventus days, I'd be like, even if it was Pjanic during his Roma days and early Juventus days, that's not the player that Barcelona need. Barcelona's midfield, it's high. What they need is someone to help Messi. That's it. So Messi already does a lot by himself. All they need is another person who can, at the very least, come close to what Messi provides. They failed in Coutinho. They failed in the side chick known as Griezmann. The Cannibal Suarez is on the decline. The only guy that can do close to what Messi does is a 17-year-old called Fati. So this deal makes no sense to me. But even if I think Jorginho is more perfectly suited to what Sarri needs, I think the Arthur deal makes far more sense to what Sarri needs in our Juve team than Pjanic and what that Barcelona team needs. So this, for me, on the face of it, who knows, I may be wrong, but on the face of it, works far better for Juventus than it does for Barcelona.
What can I ask? Why are they getting rid of Arthur? Arthur.
Well, he wasn't playing very much, was he?
He wasn't.
I mean, he started off very well there, but then every time I look at their lineup, I don't see him starting games. I think it's a much better deal for Juve. Much better. I think Pjanic, as you said, even at his pomp at Roma and early Juve days, I still don't think he would have been a good fit for Barcelona. I think as long as Barcelona have got Busquets playing in that deeper role, you don't need a Pjanic. Pjanic is a deep-lying playmaker, unless they wish to kind of... Because when he was at Roma, he played a bit further up the pitch. He was a bit more of a creative midfielder, a bit higher up the pitch. But I don't think he has that kind of dynamic, that kind of oomph and that little bit of spark that the Barcelona midfield is missing. From when we always go back to Iniesta, when Iniesta was there, he was dynamic. He could go past the player and then slot a through ball, you know what I mean? He'd take a player out. I don't see that from their midfield anymore. De Jong's not that player. They don't really have that ball carrier in midfield. Pjanic, I see kind of in the same kind of vein as a De Jong. A Rakitic, they're all kind of similar. They don't have that different element. So I think if you have a Busquets, you're not going to have a deep line playmaker there because you don't need two players holding that position. And Busquets is still very good at what he does. Rakitic, for some reason, I don't like him. I always thought Rakitic did a good job at Barcelona.
Yeah.
De Jong's not really worked out. Pjanic is more the same. They need something different.
Nix.
Yeah, I just think it's like one for the other, half a dozen, or six or half a dozen the other. Just maybe Barca get 10 million euros. I mean, that's literally it. You've just traded one player for the exact same old player, and you got 10 million. Maybe, as I said, yeah. I think for Juve it might work, but for Barca it's just the same. Nothing. I don't think anything's really changed by them getting Pjanic and losing Arthur, considering that Arthur wasn't even playing. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not what I said. What I think Barca needed if they're going to return to the top. Maybe it's the start of doing something this summer, but it's much ado about nothing from there.
World Cup hater, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, so what's the deal again? So it's what's the
Pjanic plus 10 million euros. So Juve are giving Pjanic plus 10 million for Arthur.
Oh, so it's not the 70 million plus. It's not the 70 million no more.
No.
I think the 70 how they were. It's that's how much they value the players at. So if you look at they do that a lot of times where they'll say this deal was worth that amount, but no, it's a player swap, player cash deal.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so I originally thought it was still the 70 million plus or whatever. I don't know, but I thought it was the 70 million. I was thinking, well, they're looking to gear up to sign Pogba from Man United. Because we all know he's on his way out.
Relax.
No, but that's the kind of player that they need. That's the kind of player Barcelona need.
Don't know. So you're high up in things. So you know agents and special people, Javen. Tell us.
We all know that Pogba is leaving Man United. He doesn't want to be there.
You're right. He might not want to be there, and that's not my problem. I don't have a problem with him.
You set him off. You set him off.
He's got 2 years.
Set him off. Here we go.
So if we don't want to lose him, that's up to us. We decide. So Pogba can say what he wants. Pogba nearly tried to end this season early so we could be ready for the Euros. And by the grace of God, he had to play for us this season. God said, no. You don't
use God's name in vain. Do not use God's name in vain.
Wait. Are you saying that God put a plague on the earth just so Pogba could play a game for Man United?
Don't use God's name in vain. Don't use God's name in vain.
If you read your scripture, the first time there's been a plague. There's not a first time.
What? For Paul Pogba?
Listen, I don't know. What I'm saying is, Pogba tried. Pogba tried to say, my season's done. France, I'm coming. And Barca or Real Madrid or Juve, whoever, I'll see you next season.
So,
and it ain't happening.
Wait. Actually, let me ask you guys this. What do you think is the problem with Barcelona's transfer policy? Like, why? Because these guys, it's bad move after bad move after bad move, and it just doesn't make sense. Because remember, these guys went from they're able to get Henry, then they got David Villa and everything, and now you have Malcolm in the middle, you have Coutinho, you have the French side chick, all these dudes. So, I mean, do you know why
they've been doing it for a long time? They've been doing it for a long time. I mean, they've signed a lot of our rubbish. Alex Song, Kleb.
Kleb was too bad.
Yeah.
Just like
but come on,
that signing.
Kleb ain't a Barcelona player. But they've signed a lot of bad players over the years. This ain't nothing new. They've got more wrong than they've probably got right. Let's be honest. But yeah, their transfer policy is meant. I just don't get it. I think they're just literally trying to make. They just want to see if Messi can do it on his own. I think that's what they're doing.
Okay, so basically, this is like a challenge. It's like, okay, let's see how many bricks he can play with. You know.
Yeah. I think Messi is like, this is too easy. Give me another one. This is too easy. Make it harder. So it's just Messi's way of trying to play till he's 38. You know, like in Dragon Ball Z when they go in the training chambers, and they make it harder and harder and harder. That's what Messi's doing right now. He wants to achieve Super Saiyan God or whatever it is.
I think this is wrong for Barcelona because it's all gonna go wrong because Messi right now, obviously he's still really good, but you don't get better as you get older. You know, you lose a bit of your quality, and this is the time when they should be bringing in some decent players that can play around him. So when he does eventually go, it's not like, oh my goodness, we're scrapping around, and then the team just falls into the wilderness like Liverpool did for all those years until recent. And it's mad. It's mad. For me, before I used to be like, Barcelona. I fear, and any time we had to play that, I feared playing them because I knew like 9 times out of 10 they would win. But now I'm not as afraid of the Barcelona team if I ever had to play against them. Maybe with our current squad, but in general.
All right. So before we jump out of here, man, all I want is a scoreline, and then we can then maybe see who was right, who was wrong, when we return on Monday. So, Nix Kwamaina, scoreline.
I'm always right, even when I'm wrong. I could have been
for
wrong.
tonight. Just give me a scoreline, man. Just give me a scoreline.
I am going 3-1 Man City.
Devil.
Oh, you don't think you'll score? 3-0 then. 3-0.
I'm going 2-0 to the Arsenal. We are back, baby. We are back. We're still shit. We're still
Devil.
shit.
We're talking about top tier team. Devil, we're talking about top tier team.
No. I don't care. We're going to finish above Tottenham. We're going to finish above Tottenham. That's all I care about this season.
About that?
Yes,
Devil,
we're going to finish above Tottenham.
Can I get a scoreline from you?
Yes, the scoreline will be 2-1 Man City.
And Javen, the alleged Chelsea supporter.
We're gonna lose, man. This is Man City. They just pumped the team 5-0. I think we're gonna lose 2-0.
Wow. Well, Liverpool, it seems as if you may have gotten your wish because it seems as if you will now have the opportunity. Okay, before we go, if you guys are right, then do Liverpool win it at the Etihad or City force them to do it?
They don't win it at the Etihad.
Remember, it's only a draw they need.
It's only a draw. Oh, then they win it at the Etihad.
No. I think they need no.
Oh, it's only a draw.
No, 2 more points. They need 2 more points. So if City win, they need 2 more points.
No, if
they draw with Man City would drop 2 points.
Yeah.
Man City need to win every game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I think it's hard to say. I need to see after today's game. If they give Chelsea a hide-in, like 4, 5, 6.
Yo, Devil, your boy Rodney 9th.
Yeah, we're gonna finish. Yeah, we're gonna finish above Spurs. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick's carry.
If City give Chelsea a hide-in, like 4, 5-0, and this is without Jesus starting, thank God. No pun intended. Pun intended even. Then I could see them beat Jesus. Jesus, you get. I could see them beating City. If it's Liverpool. If it's a tight win, then I think it'll be a draw. So I can't really decide until after this game, but I think they'll win today.
So what did you guys say? Etihad
2-1 City, and then Liverpool win it at the Etihad.
Well, for me, I'm also saying that I have no idea. And well, look, City, I suppose they might win. It is what it is, but we'll see. All right, just last thing. Oh, before we went, PK takes a pic with Arthur in tweets Sekeda. Because he did the same thing with Neymar, where he said, "Oh, the Neymar is staying," but in the end of the day, Neymar left, man. But look, all I'm saying is that look.
What does that mean?
No, Sekeda means he's staying.
Because
he posted a clip with Neymar saying that he's staying, and then Neymar then went ahead to go with things. So it means that PK doesn't know anything apart from sleeping in Shakira's bed. Guys,
Fabrizio Romano's confirmed it. So.
No. The guy's gone. So, guys, remember, guys, support us. Become a Patreon. The link is in the description box below. If you want to follow either Devil or Nix via the Twitter, link in the description box below. Because Javen is too cool for social media, and because he's a big-time engineer, programmer kind of dude, he's too cool for social media. So you could only find him on the street or in a brothel. So Hopefully, your wife didn't hear that. But we all know that he hangs out brothels and everything, strippers and everything, you know. So, and also he's strangely attracted to the Asian strippers, which is weird, very Oriental of you. So guys, it is, no, Javan, I saw you in the stream. So if push me,
Wait,
I'm
you saw
if
him
you push
there,
me,
which
I'm
means you were
sending
in
the pic
there
to
as
your
well.
wife. So don't push me.
This is your
So
fan.
you were in there too.
What?
You were in there too to see him in there.
Javan, I'm single, so it is what it is. So I'm sorry. So single guys can do whatever the hell they want. So Javan, next time you insult me, I'm sending the pics to your wife because I know you hang around those brothels. Which is like to us guys, marriage is overrated. Don't get married, man. So only get married if your wife can allow you to have a side piece. Then it's a great marriage. So because we all know that Javan has those marriages where it's like it's all straight. But I've seen Javan's thingy, and I think that she is very okay. Look, I'm revealing too much. I'm revealing too much. Okay, guys, it is what it is. It's all cool. We'll see you guys on Monday. Peace out. Stay true. Peace. All right.